Welcome to the Lauren Blackwell channel. Do you guys think that Selena Gomez should have been part of this lawsuit that was just filed against them? So, recently an investment firm filed a lawsuit against Wondermind, Selena Gomez, her mother, Mandy, and a former business partner of theirs, Daniela Pearson. And the reason is that this investment firm invested in this mental health startup that Selena's mother, Mandy, and her business partner created. And according to them, which I think this is the reason why Selena is going to have to be part of this lawsuit, is that Selena Gomez was expected to be an active part of the running of this mental health startup. And I think that the part that sold this investment firm into investing in this startup is that they thought that Selena Gomez was going to draw in more business, basically, with all of her interviews that she'll be doing and TV appearances and her name. And that is quite the big deal. If she had done that, they have no reason to think that it would not be successful. And that was a major selling point to this investment firm. Okay. It is also been said that the investors were made to believe that the valuation of the startup at the time they were about to invest was about $100 million. So perhaps that was the case at the time prior to the mismanagement of the company. But either way, it is looking like that is no longer the case, and so the investors are not happy about that at all. So it looks like the startup was ran into the ground. It was not run properly. It seemed to have poor leadership. They mentioned the company's infrastructure was not up to par, and basically the business suffered. And so now they are being sued for $1 million. And this is complicated because according to the reports that we have heard, TMZ reported on this as well. I think they were the first to report on this. But anyway, according to the reports that we have heard, Mandy, Selena's mother, is kind of trying to shift the blame to her former business partner, Daniela. Daniela is a former business partner, as in she left the company long before this lawsuit was filed. I guess when things started to take a turn downwards, she ended up leaving the business. And it looks like Mandy is putting some of the blame for the business, the mismanagement of funds and infrastructure and everything else on Daniela. Somehow, in the middle of all of this lawsuit, came the rumor that part of the reason why the business was mismanaged is that Mandy has a substance abuse problem. I'm not sure what substance they're referring to, but they believe that her struggle with substance use is one of the reasons why, one, the funds were mismanaged and the business was not run the way that it should have been. Obviously, Mandy is not accepting this. She is saying that she does not have a substance abuse problem and that there are some former employees that are disgruntled and they are starting this rumor about her having this substance abuse problem and that she does not actually have a substance abuse problem. Between Mandy trying to blame Daniela for mismanaging the company, the funds, and not running the business the way it should be and running it into the ground, and then people blaming Mandy for having this substance abuse problem, which she's gonna have to defend herself from that. This sounds messy. Okay, this kind of sounds messy. The one positive thing that I see with this is that they are only being sued for $1 million. For them, $1 million is not a lot of money, so that's a good thing. But this is not a good look at all. And obviously, I don't think Selena Gomez is going to be able to whine her way out of this because she's allegedly a part of the business. And she had her own responsibilities of drumming up business and even more investors to the business with her name and her appearance. And I don't know that she did that. If she did not do her part and Daniela did not do her part in managing the business properly, and if Mandy had her substance abuse problem, then it looks like the whole thing was a mess to begin with. And so it's no surprise that the business did not succeed. So what this investment firm is asking for is simply for them to be given back their investments. Typically, when you invest your money into a business, and well, it depends on a lot of things. Okay, there's a lot of factors that go into play here. But when the business ends up not succeeding, you do not always just get your investment funds back. Okay, when you invest, you're kind of willing to lose what you invest. Obviously, it depends on the type of investment and the agreements and etc. But just speaking generally, when you invest your money, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get that money back or get any profit from that investment. There is a very strong possibility that the business will fail, and if it does fail, the amount that you have invested can very much be lost. You cannot then sue for the amount that was lost because you pretty much accepted that you were willing to lose that amount when you invested it, into a business. It's only when you put your money in a bank and it's like FDIC insured, then you can expect to get your money back. But when you're investing your money in a business, then you're not guaranteed that you're going to get back what you have invested. You have a very strong chance of losing what you've invested. Actually, I said earlier that the investors were only seeking their investment back, which is $1 million, but that is not exactly accurate. They're actually seeking unspecified additional damages as well. And the actual lawsuit is they are suing for securities fraud because they believe that they were defrauded. One of the complaints that this investment firm made is that they were not notified of the problems that the company was having while it was going through all of the problems that it had. And so they were kept in the dark. The way they phrased it, they made it seem as though they were purposely kept in the dark and were misled and not told that the company was collapsing. Okay, and so for many years, while the investors believed that they were invested in a company that was being ran and was up and running, basically, that was not the case. And even the way that they found out that the company was about to collapse completely was not through the company itself. They were not notified by the company itself. They heard it through a third party that the company was having a lot of issues, and they started to learn that allegedly Selena Gomez was neglecting her responsibilities in the company, and her mother was dealing with substance abuse issues, and the company was not doing very well. And so they learned that from third party. They did not learn it from the company. That is not good at all. They should be notified. They should be current on what is happening with the company. But according to them, that's not what happened. They also said that initially everyone was very invested in the startup, including Selena and her mother. They were all very invested until they received the money from the investment firm. And that was when everyone just sort of relaxed on their responsibilities, and the mismanagement of the startup is what caused the company to fail. So they believe that they were defrauded, and the company owners just wanted money from them, and that was why they stopped working towards the company after they received the money. It is not difficult to see whether or not Selena Gomez neglected her responsibilities. Like, if her role is to basically sell the company in all of these appearances and interviews, then those can easily be checked. So it's not difficult to check if she did that or not. I don't know if it's difficult to see if her mother was battling with substance use either, but the whole mismanagement thing, they're going to have to prove that the leadership was not up to par. Yeah, so they're going to have to do that, and I don't know how they're going to prove fraud in this case. Like, they truly believe that they were defrauded of their initial investment, and yeah, they're going to have to prove all of this. What I would like to know, what I'm really curious about is, was Selena actually a co-owner of this company, or did they use her name because her mother is a co-founder and she just sort of used her status as Selena Gomez's mother to say that Selena is going to mention the company, and by virtue of knowing Selena so closely and having a close relationship with Selena, that became a selling point. Like, there's a big difference between whether or not Selena was a co-founder versus Selena is my daughter, and so based on that, she's going to sell the company with her name and when she does interviews. So that's what I'm curious to know. Like, was Selena a co-founder of this company? Because this is not the first time that we have heard that people that surround celebrities would use the celebrities' names to promote their own business. Like, they will take pictures with the popular celebrities, post it on their business social media so that people can see that they know the celebrity and have a good relationship with them, a close relationship. And based on that, they will draw people in and say, yeah, I have a close relationship with this person. So it increases their credibility, and if they happen to mention that Selena is going to mention the business, then obviously that is going to draw in more investors. But that is very different from if Selena is a co-founder of this business, which is what I'm wondering, because I don't know, for some reason a part of me believes that Selena is not a co-founder. I don't know, I'm just assuming here, I'm not sure. I just feel like they just sort of used her name to promote the business, and maybe she gave some verbal promises, who knows. Mandy is her mother, so it's not a stretch for her to assume that Selena is going to mention the business in her interviews. But based on what I know of Selena, she promotes the businesses that she has. She promotes her makeup line, she talks about her music. So if she did not promote this startup, then it makes me wonder if she was actually a co-founder, or if she is just being associated with the business because her mother is a co-founder. And I also want to know what is up with that business partner. Where did she disappear to, Daniela? Because it looks like they may be shifting the blame on her. It looks like Mandy is trying to shift the blame onto her for the mismanagement of the company. I have not heard anything, no statement from her yet, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Selena also has not yet put out a statement. So far, the only thing we've heard is Mandy denying that she has a substance use problem. But we'll see how this turns out. It looks like this is going to be something messy, so they'll probably want to keep it out of the public eye. But yeah, good luck with that. So that's all I have on Selena Gomez and this lawsuit. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.